The diner was quiet that morning, the kind of calm that only happens before the rush, when the smell of bacon mixes with coffee and soft country music hums from a dusty jukebox. A man sat alone in the corner booth, his broad shoulders hunched slightly forward, his weathered hands wrapped around a chipped mug. His name was Jack Carter, a single dad, a veteran, and a man who'd seen too much war and too little peace. Across from him, a little girl no older than 7 swung her legs beneath the table, her smile lighting up the gray morning. "Daddy, can we get pancakes and waffles today?" she asked, her eyes wide with innocent excitement. Jack chuckled softly. "Only if you promise to help me with the syrup this time." Last time, half of it ended up on the floor. Their laughter was soft, but it carried warmth, the kind that spoke of love rebuilt after loss. Jack's wife had passed away 5 years ago, just months after he returned from deployment. Since then, he'd done everything to raise his daughter, Emily, on his own, from cooking burnt breakfasts to braiding her hair before school, something he'd learned from YouTube tutorials and a lot of trial and error. But not everyone saw the quiet hero that Jack was. That morning, a group of men entered the diner, loud, brash, the kind that looked for attention wherever they went. One of them, a tall, muscular guy named Rick, had a grin that was more sneer than smile. He noticed Jack immediately, his simple clothes, his quiet demeanor, the faded military tattoo visible on his forearm. "Hey, look at that," Rick said to his friends, nodding toward Jack. "Another wannabe tough guy with Army ink. Probably got it off some online store." Jack ignored it, focusing on helping Emily cut her pancakes. He'd learned long ago that silence was sometimes stronger than words. But Rick wasn't done. He walked over, towering above the small booth. "Hey, old man, you think you're some kind of soldier hero or something? That's a Delta Force tattoo, isn't it?" He leaned closer, eyes gleaming with mockery. "You ain't fooling anybody. Guys like you sit around pretending you were something." Emily's small hands froze around her fork. "Daddy," she whispered. Jack's calm voice was low, steady. "Sir, I'm just trying to have breakfast with my daughter. Please leave us alone." Rick laughed, the kind of laugh that made other people uncomfortable. "Oh, we got a tough guy here. What, you gonna salute me?" Then it happened. Before anyone could stop him, Rick slapped Jack across the face. The sound echoed through the diner, sharp, humiliating, loud enough to stop every conversation. Emily gasped, tears welling instantly. Jack didn't move. He didn't even look angry. He simply turned his head back slowly, his eyes meeting Rick's. For a brief second, the air in the diner changed, like the calm before a storm. Jack set his coffee down, his voice barely above a whisper. "Son, you just made the worst mistake of your life." Before Rick could laugh again, Jack moved, not with rage, but with precision. In one smooth motion, he stood, sidestepped, and with a flick of his wrist, disarmed Rick's attempt to shove him again. The next second, Rick's arm was pinned behind his back, his face pressed against the table. The entire diner froze. Jack didn't hit him. He didn't shout. He just held him there, firm, controlled, unshakable. "Delta Force," Jack said quietly, his voice steady as stone. "We don't brag about it. We don't fake it. We just live with what we've done, and what it cost." Rick's friends stepped back, realizing what they were seeing, not a broken man, but a legend. The tattoo wasn't a decoration. It was a mark earned through pain, loss, and loyalty. Jack released Rick, who stumbled back, eyes wide. Face red with shame. The diner manager called the police, but by the time they arrived, Rick was already gone, too embarrassed to stay. Emily climbed onto her father's lap, small hands touching his cheek. "Daddy, are you okay?" Jack smiled softly, brushing her hair back. "I'm okay, sweetheart. Sometimes people forget that being strong doesn't mean hurting others." That night, a stranger who'd been at the diner posted the story online. A quiet single dad who turned out to be a Delta Force veteran, defending his daughter's dignity without violence. It went viral overnight. People called him a hero, but Jack didn't care about fame. He cared about Emily, about teaching her that kindness and strength could live in the same heart. Weeks later, the diner put up a small plaque on the wall, right by that same booth. It read, "To those who fight battles the world will never see, and raise their children to never need to." Jack never asked for recognition. He just kept showing up. Every morning, same booth, same coffee, same smile when Emily talked about school. And maybe, somewhere deep inside, he hoped that anyone watching would learn something that day. That real strength isn't about proving you're powerful, it's about protecting what you love without losing your peace. So if this story touched you, take a moment to think about your quiet heroes, the single parents, the veterans, the people who fight invisible wars every day and still choose kindness. Heart. Like this video if you believe that courage isn't about revenge, it's about restraint. And don't forget to subscribe, because stories like these remind us what real strength looks like, not in the battlefield, but in the heart.